Hello. In this update to Survive, our open world zombie survival shooter, I worked on the skeletal animation and skinning system, the terrain system, and the start of the weapon system, which you can see in this new gun and these particles over here. First off, the terrain system. The terrain will serve as the base for the entire game. In Survive, the world is procedurally generated, which just means that the entire world is made up of random houses and buildings and roads to make a big random city that's different every time you play, or every time you start a new game. First, the terrain is generated randomly, and then everything is generated on top, like all the buildings, roads, houses, stores, forests, rivers, everything is on top of this terrain. The terrain system right now is probably about halfway done. The only two systems I still have to work on are the vegetation system and the level of detail system. The vegetation system is just rendering 3D grass and other vegetation on top of the terrain to make it look less flat. And then the level of detail system is just rendering the distant terrain with less polygons to save on performance. But right now I'm not really worried about tweaking performance, so that'll be saved for another day. The next thing I worked on is the animation and skinning systems. Animation and skinning is vital to every game. It is what brings the world to life. In this game, it will give movement to things like zombies, other survivors, weapon shooting and reloading, as well as vehicles. As you can see, I have loaded some basic test animations for these models that were once static. The animation system is about 75% done, but it is more than enough for now to start implementing some gameplay. The only things I still have to do for it are fix the blending between animations and hook up the skeletons to ragdolls so they can fall realistically. Now that I've finished the animation, I've begun to implement the weapon system. In a modern game, the weapon system is made up of three main components. The first of these components is the particle system. As you can see, I've created some test smoke to show the particle system in action. The parameters of this system can be tweaked to create almost any effect. This system is used to create three effects when the weapon is fired. The first of these effects is a muzzle flash at the tip of the gun. The second is the bullet itself flying through the air, and the third is the effect of the bullet hitting an object. For example, when you shoot the ground, you would expect some dirt to fly up, or if you shoot some metal, you expect sparks to fly out, and if you shoot a person, you would expect blood to fly out. The second component of the weapon is the decal system. Just like you would expect stuff to fly off the things you shoot, you also expect to leave behind a mark. The decal system will leave behind a small decal when you shoot something, so if you shoot the ground, you will make a small hole in it. The third component of the weapon is the weapon itself and the animation. When the gun is fired or reloaded, the animation system plays a correct animation. When all of these components come together, along with the sound, it creates the effect of shooting. That's all I worked on for this update. Right now I am working on finishing up the weapon system. As you can see, I have already finished the particle and animation systems, so all I have to do is finish the decal system and hook it all together. After the player can shoot stuff, I will work on the zombie locomotion, which is just getting a zombie in the game and having him move from point A to point B with the correct animation. Once these two things are finished and the player can walk around and shoot zombies, the game will be released for pre-order. If you pre-order the game from our website, you will get the game at a discounted price and be able to play the latest builds of the game while we are still working on it. That's it for this video, and thanks for watching. You can follow the development of this open world zombie survival shooter on the development blog at subsurfacegames.com.